Good morning and welcome to the Media Speaks Live Saturday morning news show. I'm D. Lake for Prez, David Lake, reporting for themediaspeaks.com. I'm joined this morning by Kyle Phillips, the technician on a mission. KP, how are you doing?
Wonderful. Hung over a little bit, but that's okay. What's life without a hangover every once in a while?
Exactly, it's good for the soul. We're also joined by Sam I.B. DeGangi, Sam of the Correct Views, and the band Passing Time, Samuel.
Greetings, unsettled souls, and welcome to the Saturday edition.
Excellent, Sam. Let's jump right in. Guys, the past couple days, Russia is going in to Syria. Putin's got the green light. He's going in. He's backing Assad to destroy ISIS. Not exactly the way the United States would do it, but Russia seems to be doing a decent job. The Russian Air Force has conducted more than 60 flights and bombed over 50 Islamic State targets in 3 days, according to Russia's top armed forces official. Now, you know, the Americans might disagree with that, but he added the strikes have significantly reduced the terrorists' combat capabilities. Quote, the airstrikes were being conducted night and day from the Khmeimim air base and throughout the whole of Syria. In 3 days, we managed to undermine the terrorists' material technical base and significantly reduce their combat potential. Lieutenant General Andrei Kartopolov, head of the main operation directorate of the General Staff of Russia's Armed Forces, told reporters on Saturday. And today is Saturday. Guys, how do you feel about Russia's involvement in the Syrian civil war and them taking on ISIS to radically degrade and destroy them? Something that Obama said that America was going to do over 1,000 days ago. Kyle, what do you think?
I think it would be very interesting. Like, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but what if Russia defeated ISIS? Like, how would the U.S. government deal with that? Like, I can't even imagine them saying it. Like, even if it was true, I can't imagine, like, you know, whoever, it's not Jay Carney anymore, but whoever the press secretary is, being like...
Josh Earnest.
Yeah, Josh Earnest goes up at that podium and is like, despite our efforts over the past 15 years, Russia did it in 6 months. Like, they would never... they couldn't possibly admit that.
Well, I mean, that's the way it's shaping up just in this top headline. I mean, it seems like they bombed more targets in 3 days, 50 ISIS targets, than we bombed in, you know, however long it's been. I mean, Obama said, you know, they crossed the red line and all that in 2012.
I don't trust, for one, I do not trust Putin. I don't think, I think what I've seen a lot of are people who know that Obama is wrong, people who know that he's doing a terrible job, are people that will like Putin simply because Putin believes the same things. That's like saying to me that Stalin was a good man because Hitler was a bad man. I don't trust him, and I don't think that all the press that is going against Russia is just mainstream media spin. You see this from a lot of different factions within Russian history in the past. I don't. I'm going to be the one here that says I don't trust him. That doesn't mean I think Obama's the great truth teller and I'm going to vote for Hillary. I don't trust either one of them.
Yeah, it's not A or B. You don't have to be on one side and against the other side. I couldn't agree with you more. It's like, I don't think Putin's a good guy. I'm not a fan of Putin, but I'm not a fan of, like, the past 5 American presidential administrations either. So,
right. I'm for America, and I mean, I love Rocky IV, you know, when Rocky beats Ivan Drago from Russia.
Drago was gosh.
But Drago was a badass, and so is Putin. I mean, he's a badass, and like Sam was just saying, yeah, you know, yeah, it looks like the Republicans like Putin a lot. He's got polls high here in America. I mean, I was watching Vladimir Putin speak. The Russian was translated. I saw an article yesterday that our media probably didn't include everything he said exactly the way he said it, which kind of changes the narrative. But I think a lot of the stuff that he said made a lot of sense to me. And ideally, Russia being closer to Syria and the Middle East than we are across the pond, you know, they have a little bit more at stake because they don't want those Syrians coming in to Russia.
Yeah, and let's not undercut the fact that, like, Russia has a much more serious terrorism problem than we do. Like, if you look at, like, the global terrorism crisis, like the United States is kind of has like the least problem with it. Like, yes, we had 9/11 and we've had like a few I don't want to say minor but smaller incidents, but you look at Britain, you look at Russia, they got shit every month happening to them. Like it's really more their issue than ours.
Yeah, our issue is mass shootings, and we'll get to that. But going back to this conflict going on in Syria, now it's like the U.S., we can kind of take care of ISIS in Iraq. I mean, what we should be doing right now, what I think our campaign should be, is to send in our Air Force and have more ISIS camps destroyed in Iraq than Russia has in Syria. We'll be right next to each other, America and the U.S. bombing the crap out of ISIS in Iraq and Syria. And
Make it kind of a contest.
And it will be like it'll be a contest, and it'll be like we're shooting baskets at the Chuck E. Cheese, right next to each other, and see who's sinking more baskets, right, Kyle?
Yeah, it's like whack-a-mole, but with Islamic fundamentalists.
Yeah. Sam, I know that's kind of a wacky analogy, but how do you feel about that?
I think that it's the only it makes as much sense as anything else I've seen put forth. I'm seeing, like I said a minute ago, this this Putin worship. This look that there's another problem I think is lost too. I think Michael Snyder might have been the one who mentioned this. I'm not sure. Assad, regardless of whether America played a role in it or not, is useless in that there's too much division under him now for him to be able. It's trying to like take the cat back in the bag, if it were. Too much has gone down. In order for that country to move forward, he cannot remain in office. It would be, if you believe what Nixon said, the reason he left was he felt that so much damage had been done that he didn't feel like he could lead properly. I think that is a good analogy for Assad. I think the country is simply too divided amongst itself to move forward with him as leader.
His family has been in the government's power for over 45 years, and I don't see him stepping down anytime soon. But what I wanted to say about Assad in terms of American propaganda, guys, we all remember what a bad guy Gaddafi was and Saddam Hussein, and there was always pictures of them on the news and all the bad stuff they did. 2 years ago, the world accused Bashar al-Assad of a chemical attack. It didn't really stick, and there was a lot of controversy. I think even Russia back then said it wasn't Assad, it was the rebels, and some of the first camps that Russia targeted were actually rebels, and the U.S. is like, hey, you're bombing our moderate rebels that we gave weapons to, and they're like, well, so sorry, so sad, but we're siding with Assad here. Well, going back to the American propaganda, America doesn't paint Assad with a bad brush. I mean, if you had pictures of Assad and pictures of ISIS, you'd say, who's that Assad guy? No one knows who he is because America doesn't pump him up as a bad guy, but we all know who ISIS is and that they cut off heads and that they're the bad guys. So if we hear that Russia's attacking ISIS, we're all for it. For most people that don't take into consideration Vladimir Putin's alignment with Bashar al-Assad.
I think that is very true. I think we're getting a delay. No, I was agreeing with you. I think that's very true. But I think Assad is someone that I didn't get the vibe, I should say, that Gaddafi was terribly evil. I think that Gaddafi was somebody who had aligned pretty much his view, and I think if more Americans were awake to what it was that Gaddafi was good at.
But Gaddafi was an ugly motherfucker, so it was easy to demonize him.
Yes, keeping progress going in the country. The amount of wealth they had, they actually had a decent country where most factions that tolerated one another. They did not love each other, but they tolerated each other. Hillary Clinton moved in and destroyed that. I don't think Assad was that powerful of a leader. Not in the same way, but I do think America needs to stay out of it. I don't think that because I feel strongly that Assad's ability to lead is now in trouble. I don't think that an American puppet is the answer either.
Well, no, I mean, it's just like anything else. If you take the macro down to the micro level, and I mean, if you, it's, feed a man to fish and he'll eat forever, give a man a fish, eats for a day, whatever, like if you do it for them and if you put your own puppet government, that it never sticks. History shows that, like, fighting people's revolutions and trying to stabilize other people's countries just doesn't work. Sadly, like, they have to do it for themselves. If you put your puppet person in there, they're never going to get respect, and you're just going to have problems 15 years down the line.
Right, and so, Sam, I'm sure you saw Rand Paul talking about, the history of America's interventionism, and when we say, we just have to topple Assad and get him out of there by any means necessary, it doesn't really stick with a lot of people. I think that's the second time I've said that. Like, America, like, I don't know, I mean, right now, no one is calling, except for the government, is calling for Assad to step down. I mean, in terms of just a wave of American people that think that's the right thing. I think the general sentiment is destroy ISIS. We've been talking about it.
I think the American people don't have any faith in their government to win a war anymore. When was the last time we won a war? Even psychological wars. They can't do anything about the war on drugs. They can't do anything about the war on terror. The last real war we had was Vietnam, and we fucking lost. Like, there's the American sentiment is like, back up, regroup, Jesus Christ. Like, let's think about these things before we just go, like, strutting military might everywhere. We haven't won a war since World War II.
I would definitely like to see more winning. So much winning that we'll get bored of winning, according to Donald Trump. Yes. Now, this week, just talking about Trump, he is the Republican frontrunner. In interviews this week, when he was talking about he's hearing numbers as high as 200,000 migrants that will take in these refugee migrants, and he's saying it's weird when you see the footage of all the people traveling out of Syria. It's all young, strong, healthy, strong young men, predominantly. I mean, very few women, mostly young, strong men. Why aren't they staying and fighting for their country is number one question that he asked. And number two, if America is talking about taking in 200,000 of them, and strong, strapping young men, we have no idea where they came from, they could essentially be ISIS terrorists. We could essentially be bringing an army in.
I mean, that completely. Like, that's a very valid worry to have. But as far as, like, why is it all, like, young men who, like, are of fighting age and stuff, that makes perfect sense to me. If you're in a war-torn land, like, you have people on both sides pressuring you, threatening you to join their cause. And I could see how you'd be like Sam said, it's like, I don't like ISIS, I don't like Assad, like, fuck it, I need to get out of here. I need to get out of here before I get killed for not fighting. That makes sense to me that it would be people of that age. They're not pressuring women to go in and fight,
Yeah, but
they're keeping them there
they're raping their women. If they're fleeing ISIS, then they wouldn't have left the women behind because ISIS is notorious for raping them.
It's true. They're probably fleeing. They just don't want to fight.
I mean, it makes sense both ways, but I mean, they kind of all, and then some of them, like, you'll see a picture of a terrorist guy, and then next to that picture will be a picture of what looks to be the same guy wearing just a regular T-shirt and jeans, and he's crossing into Europe or through Turkey or something like that, migrating.
Well, I mean, look at it this way. Let me give you, like, a hypothetical example that'll make it make sense. Say you live in Kentucky and there's another civil war between the North and the South. You get conscripted, you get drafted to fight for the North, but everybody in your family sides with the South, and they say, if you fight for the North, we disown you. You might be like, fuck it, I'm going to Canada.
Yeah, well...
But you wouldn't try to go in and burn down Canada once you got there and cuss at the local Canadians, which is what I think we're seeing more and more of here. Don't say a boot when you're a guest. We don't want to hear that.
You need to assimilate and start eating pancakes with a lot of maple syrup or something. I don't know.
Real bacon, not your bullshit ham that you call bacon.
Yeah, Canadian bacon, right? That's awesome. Guys, gentlemen, did you hear about the mass shooting that took place in Oregon at a community college this week?
A gun-free zone.
I believe. Oh, well, of course a gun-free zone, Sam. Don't be ridiculous. And I believe, to my understanding, that he had those guns legally. He had them for some time. And he brewed up in his mind that he was against organized religion. He reportedly asked people what their religion was. If they were Christian, they got shot in the head. If they were not Christian, they got shot in the legs. A war veteran charged the guy, got shot 7 times, but survived in an attempt to take him down. I believe the shooter was shot by 2 armed police that arrived on the scene, like after 10 people are already dead. There was 1 security guard that was unarmed. Obama was on the news giving a press conference within like 10 hours or less to say that we need to crack down on guns. And, brilliant timing for a mass shooting to happen involving religion, as Russia enters Syria. But, Kyle, what are your feelings on this news, and what have you heard that maybe I didn't hear?
Well, right off the bat, I didn't hear much. I just heard, a little bit here and there. When I read these stories, it's like I can't even get into it because, there's so much false information and sketchy information coming out about the shooting. Like, I heard a million different stories about concealed carriers and stuff that I'm not even sure is true. The one thing that I want to put out there is this was a 26-year-old white male, correct?
He was a Crowley sex magic. He was into Satanism, basically.
Okay.
Crowleyanity.
As a 26-year-old white male, I would like to say on behalf of all 26-year-old white males that this man does not represent our demographic, and that I avidly stand against any type of activity like going into a school and shooting people. But, you want to talk about gun control. Nobody wants to talk about the fact that every one of these shootings is white males in their early 20s. I think that has a lot to do, more honestly, with the economy than it does with guns. In previous generations, at the age of 26, you'd have a job, you'd probably have a house, you'd probably be doing pretty well for yourself. When everybody's working at fucking Walgreens and Burger King, no women want you, there's no fucking job prospect in your future. I'm not condoning it in any way, but you kind of see how people get frustrated and how somebody who might be mentally unstable goes and does something like this. My question is, if this guy had a good job and a girlfriend, would he have done this?
Yeah, and the security.
Great question.
With security there, it was also they were interviewed on InfoWars. The security there had asked for armed security and were denied. They had 1 unarmed security guard in the school in a gun-free zone.
Sounds like Christopher Stevens in Benghazi asking for more security. But Kyle, can we go back to your point? And here on my screen share is a picture of the shooter. His name, 26-year-old Chris Harper-Mercer. Of course, he has 3 names, right, guys? Don't mass shooters always have 3 names? But Kyle, the point that you just brought up about, some of the presidential candidates and pundits and stuff, they don't want to talk about gun control per se because they think it's a mental health issue. But I think that mental health issue, if you take that to the next step, it is the economy. It is jobs. It is, not, working a crappy job, not having a date for Saturday night. Kyle, can you talk just a little bit more about that? Your thoughts about that?
And I don't think it's just purely the economy. Obviously, this guy and other mass shooters have mental issues. But my question is, if they had a good job, if they were doing well, and how a 26-year-old on average would be doing 20 years ago when the economy was pretty good, if this guy was able to get a girlfriend and do the things that a 26-year-old has come to expect generationally, would that mental defect have led him to do this? And I say no.
I think it's been even longer than that, because I remember 20 years ago, if you weren't part of the net bubble, you still weren't doing that great. That was the beginning of all of it, the whole outsourcing mess. Yeah, it's been a long time coming, and it does make for more instability and more people like him that may have somehow been reachable have gone completely over to Nutcaseville. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, take it back 30, 40 years ago, and it never happened. So Kyle's making a strong point there.
And I want to say, and I don't really say this as a joke. I do mean this seriously, although it might sound like I'm making a joke. I'm not. If you were one of these people who got shot in the leg, if I was an atheist, then I might be a Catholic now, because fuck this guy.
Is that for your comedy special, Kyle? Are you working on that one?
No, but seriously, if you try, this is the second one. Dylan Roof was another one that was similar with racism. killing people does not prove your point. If anything, it pulls people away from you. I bet people found religion because of this guy. I guarantee people found religion because of this guy. Like, you had the opposite net effect of what you wanted to do.
And it was also reported, it's hard to get all the vital information, but a survivor reportedly said, or he typed out on Reddit or one of these 4chan websites or something like that, that the more people that you shoot, the more people that you kill, the more spotlight you get, I mean, and
well, yeah.
do these guys ever go into this thinking that they're gonna kill X number of people, get away with it, and then go hide out in the cabin and read all their press? No, they're gonna fucking get shot and killed. I mean, is this a new form of suicide? Is this a new form of suicide? Take as many people with you as you can. Death by cop. Well, what's that called, Kyle? Sam?
Yeah, death by cop.
Death by cop. Is there a name, copicide, or is there a name for that?
Yeah, I've always heard it called death by cop or suicide by cop. There's the same thing like suicide by car, jumping in front of a car. Yeah, suicide by mass shooting. Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense to me. Because, I mean, if you think of the psychology of it, and this is something that I've really never understood. I've never understood why people just commit suicide. Like, if you're at a point in your life, which I hope nobody is, obviously I'm not endorsing any of what I'm saying, but if you are suicidal, like, what a big waste to just, like I've always said, like, joking around, like, if you're going to kill yourself, like, go take out a cult leader while you're at it, like...
Yeah, do something good with it. Don't just kill students at the community college. Now, was this guy, I think he was a student there, too. I'm not 100%.
Well, that makes sense. Like, he's frustrated. He's like, fuck it, I'm going to take somebody with me, and that's horrible, but that actually, like, psychologically makes sense to me. Now, really quickly, can I say, before you start scrolling through, if you could go back up, like, one scroll... I don't want to be like this conspiracy theorist because these people annoy me, but that girl in that girl, it looks a lot like the girl from the Sandy Hook pictures. Am I crazy?
No, it's like every mass shooting, this same girl is always crying. No, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm not going to go down the road of saying I think there's a conspiracy with that, but I saw that picture on the front page of a newspaper, and I'm like, damn, that does look like the same girl every time.
I'm sure that will play out.
I'm sure there's already a blog dedicated to it.
Yeah. Well, that's funny that you say that though, Kyle, because I was thinking about that this morning when I was putting the mass shooting in the headlines. Is that this is happening so frequently, and mass shootings are that we could just dedicate the show to that, and every week we'd have something to talk about practically. I mean. When Obama came out to give his press conference about the shooting, he's like, oh, man, this again? I hope this never happens again in my presidency, but if it does, it's because we need stricter gun control, and it's all about gun control. President, I think that he got the guns legally, and so, he had them. He passed all he did your waiting time, he passed your background check and all that stuff, and he still committed these heinous acts.
And something nobody wants to talk about is you can put as much gun control as you want out there. In 10 years, people are going to be able to 3D print them in their basement, man. It doesn't.
But they believe that the gun crowd, the anti-gun crowd, actually believes that we're going to be able to get the guns back. That's what's frightening.
We're going to get them. Yeah. They're going to take all the guns, but then we're going to get them back, right? That's how it's going to happen?
Yeah, it just... I don't know, man. I
mean they believe that if we just take the guns away, then as if.
Then there's no more guns.
Yeah, you stop making them, you stop selling them, and they go away. Is what they believe.
For anybody who thinks taking guns away just immediately gets rid of gun crime, I want you to YouTube, not you, but the person out there. I want you to YouTube really quickly for me, homemade weapon, and see what you find. If somebody wants a weapon, they're gonna fucking make one. I guarantee it.
Yeah, look at the UK. Thanks, Piers Morgan. They don't have any gun shootings, but why don't you go look at their their fucking stabbings and slicings and burnings and all that stuff. And keep in mind, gun control is for Joe law-abiding citizen, Mr. and Mrs. America, according to Nancy Pelosi. Do you think that these Do you think the militarized police in America are gonna do you think these guys in this picture right here are giving up their guns? No. Do you think the Pope that says you're not a Christian if you're a gun owner when the basement of the Vatican is filled with 1 million fucking guns, or President Obama with his Secret Service armed to the teeth, or the federalized police in America armed to the fucking gills and higher? I mean, do you think any of them are giving up their guns? Do you think the criminals are giving up their guns? And do you think the mass shooters will give up their guns? No! The only people that are going to give up their guns are mom and pop. Now, Obama says, oh, but you'll be able to still go hunting and protect your family inside your house. Well, that's great. But what about when I'm at fucking Walmart, okay?
You should be shopping at Walmart. I'll throw that out, too. You should be shopping at a better...
Well, I know. I deserve to be shot. That's why I have to protect myself.
But I mean, what it comes down to is, I think we would all agree, if all of us, like, if we rubbed a magic Google Hangout lamp, and then a genie joined our Google Hangout, and he's like, "Hi guys, I'm a genie. You guys from the media speaks. If you want, I can grant you the wish that no guns will ever exist. If you try and build a gun, that shit just won't work anymore." I'd be like, yeah, for sure. Make every gun in the world disappear and make it impossible to build a new one. But as long as there is technology, innovation, and the rules of physics still apply, people will do anything they can to make a gun or an equivalent.
I agree. That should
Including myself, by the way. I'm a big fan of homemade weapons. I think they're awesome.
Yeah.
People have made guns in prison.
What's that dude's name? I think we're all friends with him on Facebook. It's like Minority of One or something like that. The dude who makes all the bow and arrows.
Oh, yeah. Alan Moore.
Yeah. I like that guy. I like seeing his post. He's like, built a new bow today. And it's like,
Alan Odinson.
Dude's doing what he loves.
That guy's a wicked archer.
Yeah, he's got some cool pictures and videos and stuff. And he makes them all out of PVC and sometimes goes on rants about, like, fuck wood and fiberglass. PVC's plenty good. I like that guy. Yeah. But yeah, people are gonna make weapons. Like I guarantee you, I could make you a crossbow out of shit from Home Depot for less than $100 easily.
That's amazing.
Might do it just.
Guys, are you there?
Yes. And by the way, while you're looking things up really quickly, I didn't know that they made rocking couches, but I should have assumed that if a rocking couch did exist, Sam would own it. I don't know where you got that rocking couch, Sam, but
Sam needs the Hawaiian chair that you sit on, and it makes it so that you're kind of like doing a hula shake while you're sitting there.
No, we need to send Sam's wife bricks to put under all of his rocking sitting devices.
I'm not finding it. I was looking it up this week, but Sam, did you hear about the new app called Peeple? Peeple. It's an application that's going to be like Yelp for human beings, where you'll be able to rate other humans.
Yeah, this is where we're going. Haven't I been saying that as long as we've been doing these hangouts? Like, yeah, that's where everything is going.
Critics are calling it the third circle of hell, Kyle.
I can see negative sides of it, because, like, my worry with something like that is, like, when you see somebody like that fucking dentist that shot the rhino, like, I don't want somebody's life to be...
Cecil the Lion, you mean?
Yeah, like, literally, like, all it would take, if that app, like, gained dominance and employers started looking at it and stuff, all it would take is one HuffPost article about you, and your life is ruined. And that's not... that's not right. People make mistakes, and I've said this before, we've all made mistakes, we've all done shit that we're not proud of and that we would never tell anybody, we've all fucking searched porn that we wouldn't like to admit, and if everybody knew everybody else's dark shit, we'd realize, like, we're all fucked. So, I don't know, maybe it'll neutralize, maybe after a few years it'll gain dominance, and once everybody has between 1 and 2 stars, we'll just realize, like, we're all pieces of shit. Make the 2-star the 5-star, because that's our highest. Even Oprah wouldn't get a 5-star. Come on.
I know, right? Yeah. But they're saying...
People will pay other people to give them good reviews.
They're saying yeah, the positive reviews. I know. I was playing Yahoo Games the other night. I mean, I haven't played games on the internet for so long, so I'm like, oh, I'll give this a shot. I was doing okay, And then it's like, oh, okay, I'm out of credits. Now it's like, oh, you want to keep playing? $1.99. I'm like, I don't really want to keep playing. Thank you. But
Nice try, Yahoo.
nice try there, Yahoo. You're not going to get my credit card information. Sam, did you have any news from the science front today? How about that?
Yeah, there's water on Mars, bro.
Sam, there's water on freaking Mars and you have no science news? You're killing me here.
I know. I was actually muted out so that it would quit glitching tonight. Yeah, I do. We have water. Let me find that. You want the water one? You have to give me a second. I
want what you had. I want what you prepared. But I mean, we both Kyle and I both would have.
Oh well, I already had. I had. We can do two. Here we go. I already had Mars set aside. We might as well lead with it because D-Lake's right.
Excellent, thank you.
Water on Mars. What more can you say? NASA confirms Mars has liquid water. Findings advanced the potentiality for life on Mars. Now, what amazes me about this is the number of independent researchers that have shown pictures of this over and over and over again and been laughed at, ridiculed, talked down to forever. And then this just happens to fall out, proving that these people have been right for a long time. And there are quite a large number of people who have said for decades that they could prove that water was there. They didn't believe that there were Martians or cities. They were proving that there was water.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the word impossible being used repeatedly. Well, this is from RD. For the first time, NASA has confirmed the existence of liquid water on the surface of Mars. According to new research announced on Monday, the finding stems from data and analysis by NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. It goes on that the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter has verified that the dark seasonal streaks that have appeared on Mars' surface come from briny water flows. This, again, this isn't new to anybody that has read anything that isn't put out by mouthpiece scientists. MRO found evidence that narrow channels containing water cut into cliff walls through Mars' equatorial band. Through the source and chemistry of the water is yet unknown. Again, you can have methane water or something, and that's not
drinkable.
Give you life, but it's not going to give you abundance of it. The streaks or reoccurring slope lines appear during the warmer summer months of the red planet. They disappear when the temperature drops. The findings advance, it goes on, the potentiality for life on Mars. Researchers said, while it's unlikely that life exists in the crust of Mars, the new findings further the possibility that life closer to
Can I interrupt you, Sam?
Yes.
That would be the new NASA findings, okay? NASA, as in the United States of America. Sorry, Russia, but we beat you to Mars finding water, pal. Okay, so why don't you go handle ISIS and let us handle the space race? You got that, Russia? Thank you.
This is very true. I mean, the other thing I think.
And also, everyone, take a look at your screen right now. I have Kyle's screen share. Mars, I'm wet. NASA, I'm coming over.
Very nice. Very nice.
All right, Sam, you're doing great. Go ahead. Sorry.
But where we tend to find water is where we find the kinds of life that we know to look for. And I've said this before. It's not that we think that life has to exist with water. It's just that all the life that we know of to look for. We don't know how else to look for it if it doesn't have some kind of water as a building structure to it in some way. Well, it said during the summer, Mars can reach up to 70 degrees Fahrenheit along its equator. Ojha and his research team found that in this high temperature, far from the planet's average negative 80 degrees Fahrenheit, allowed salty water to flow down the planet's slope. You know, that's colder than Hillary Clinton's underwear. The water combined with electrolytes to form the brine solution that helps the water to remain a liquid at a temperature. So basically, yes, where there's water in this country, in more instances than not, there is life. So it is interesting, especially if that's if the water is comprised of.
Well, it's obviously not an ocean or a surface ocean, or else we would have I've seen that a long time ago. I mean, if we were on Mars looking at Earth through a telescope, we would be like, what's all that blue stuff? You know what I mean?
Well, that I think it's a sign of bacterial life and things like that. And again, to whether or not there are microbes or amoeba or things, I mean, it looks more and more likely that we may yet find some kind of life on Mars. I just question. I still want to know why they do things like they will drive by a section, find a clear path, turn around, and a rock is where a rock wasn't, and they don't find it unusual or go and check on it. There's a lot of questionable things.
Yeah. Even when we had Will Ferrara on the show, and we were looking at a picture where you could see a liquid coming down the side, and the rover didn't, turn around. They didn't do a check. They didn't run a sample. At least we didn't hear about it. But I read an article yesterday that Matt Damon could single-handedly help propel us or rocket us to the planet of Mars with his new movie, The Martian. Kyle, you recently saw the movie. We're not in entertainment just yet, but do you think that this goes to something that you, Kyle, talk about all the time, NASA, space race, getting off the planet, exploring new worlds, money, funding NASA for us to make the mission to Mars? It kind of sounds like we're looking at sort of like 2030-ish, the 2030s, but it could be sooner. Kyle, do you think, and the movie comes out the same time as NASA releases this breakthrough information, how do you see all that, Kyle? And do you think that Matt Damon could help rocket us to the planet Mars?
Definitely, and I recommend, too, me and Megan saw the movie yesterday, and we both read the book, too. Both of them were amazing. Anything having to do with Mars, I like the idea of, yes, like, is this movie, like, everybody in that theater is thinking about, like, really going to Mars. It was done really realistically. The guy who wrote the book is, like, I forget what he is, but he's somebody who, like, is, like, his, like, qualifications are, like, he knows shit about space travel. He knows what he's writing about. So it was very, very realistic. They were smart with the movie, too. They didn't timestamp it in any way. When you saw somebody's phone, it was like you couldn't really read, like, what was on the screen. There weren't really brands on them. If you saw somebody getting out of a car, you really only saw them open the car door, and they didn't show you the car so that, 20 years down the line when fashion and technology changes, the movie will still be up to date and it'll still have that effect. But yeah, I mean, anything that gets people excited about going to Mars. And the thing is, like, and I think NASA's starting to figure this out, that, like, obviously the cost-efficient way to go to Mars is to send robots. It makes more sense. The human life isn't involved. There's not risk of death. But it's so limited in what you can actually do with something like a rover.
What they will do.
Well, what a rover can do in the matter of a month, a human being can do in 10 minutes. But on top of that is the PR side of it. People see a rover on Mars and they just go, oh, cool picture, whatever. They forget about it in 2 days. When you got somebody on fucking Mars, like a human being on Mars, from the second that shuttle takes off until the second those people return home, like, people are involved, they're invested, they're watching it. You could potentially even turn a profit on it, start a news network dedicated to it.
Yeah, and in that same article, brilliant points, Kyle. One of the things that they did say is that one of the first things that's going to be a part of a mission like this is accepting the fact that there is this tremendous amount of risk. These people that we're putting our faith in could potentially die on this mission, and we have to be able to accept that as part of the risk if we're ever going to get off this planet. Or get to Mars or do something significant in the space.
Yeah, and it's important to say that we've accepted that risk in the past 50 fucking years ago. So why can't we do it again?
Yeah.
And I think I've heard people say that they deliberately timed it to the release of the movie. You know what? I don't think they did, but if they did, that doesn't bother me. Get a few extra dollars.
That's marketing.
Get a few extra dollars in funding. You didn't lie to anybody about what you found. I personally don't have a problem with that. I'm not going to hate every decision they do that
And
helps
by
them.
the way, I don't think that that's true either. Even though if they
Yeah.
did do that, I agree with you. I would have no problem with it. It's marketing. It's trying to get more funding. I get it. But I'm pretty sure, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that there's a law that any new information from NASA they have to release within 24 hours.
Yeah, well, Ridley Scott said that he knew that there was water on Mars, but he denied the allegation that somehow his movie was timed with NASA's announcement, and NASA also denies, saying they're just doing what they've been doing. Basically, the director of the movie, Ridley Scott, and NASA, funding the mission to Mars with the rover and finding water of some kind. Like Sam said, they don't have faucets, and you're not going to drink it, but it is water, and that is significant. And what else did you have today in science, Sam? You said you had two.
Wait,
What's the next
before
one?
we move past this, can I just say something really quickly that is almost a lesson to like don't learn too much? Because like I know Sam's like this too. Like I'm obsessed with like any new mission, manned missions especially. So I'm reading stuff all the time. And one thing that bugged the hell out of me this whole movie, and I know it's stupid, and I know that it's petty, but the rover thing that he drives around in has rubber wheels.
And that doesn't make any sense to you?
No, you couldn't have rubber on Mars. The moisture would evaporate out of it.
Interesting. Does he say, I'm going to science the shit out of this planet in the book that he says in the movie?
He did. He did say that in the book.
Great. So
And there
wonderful.
was a lot more cursing in the book. The book is written how we talk. Like everybody, every sentence has a fuck or a shit in it.
So the book wasn't as worried about a PG-13 rating as the movie was.
No, and it's funny, like, after reading the book and watching the movie, you can see how, like, they tried so hard to avoid spots where, like, it was pivotal for somebody to say, like, a curse word or something, and they would, like, skip around it in weird ways to get the rating. Like, I found that.
All right, Sam, go ahead.
This was just old. I didn't have a chance to get to it, but I thought when I was going through things to weed out that I was going to go ahead and toss it on here, because even though it's dated the last day of August, right about now is when this would actually be happening. New Horizons probe gets its next flyby target after Pluto. We did a good job here on the show of covering all of the Pluto happenings as New Horizons was going past it. Well, this is what's happening now. Before I get into this, it's not mentioned in the article. I don't know if you guys knew this, but New Horizons and Galileo and all of these probes have inscriptions which mathematically show any life form that could ever understand what it is that they're reading, where it's from, who it's from, how it got there, what it was doing, what we're made of, etc. So these probes that go into never-ending space are all labeled, if you were, in a way that would make it most likely for any intelligent life form to ever read it. So I think it's interesting for that reason, too. New Horizons has passed Pluto, but the space probe's work isn't done yet. NASA has detected a potential new target for New Horizons to fly past, and it's located nearly 1 billion miles beyond the dwarf planet in the Kuiper Belt. And that's, of course, the area there where there are some of the largest structures in the planetary system in terms of clusters. Before New Horizons reaches the Kuiper Belt object known as 2014 MU-69, a proposal will have to be evaluated by an independent team of experts before the flyby is approved. It says, while discussions whether to approve this extended mission will take place in the larger context of a planetary science portfolio, we expect it to be much less expensive than the prime mission that we're still providing new and exciting science. Basically, what they're going to do is try to get near more of the Kuiper Belt objects and see what else is out there that maybe we know exists but only have a fuzzy, distant half image of, or maybe that we don't even know is out there at all. At this point, we do know that 2014 is out there, but I thought it was interesting to note that they're not giving up on it. And when people say that, when the mission's over, look at all the money we spent, I mean, they're still using this probe that was paid for, and I think that's really interesting.
It's amazing that it's so far out there, because if you look at the chart here at the bottom on my screen share, we're the third planet from the sun, Earth. That's the planet that we live on. Closer to the sun is Mercury, then Venus, then us, then Mars beyond us. We're considered the rocky planets. Then Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune are considered the gas giants. And then Pluto and beyond is what Sam is referring to as the Kuiper Belt. And if you see the projection of the satellite in the top image, we're going past the Kuiper Belt objects. And Sam, how long is that probe supposed to be out there? Because it says 2020 question mark. How long is the probe going to be out there in space? Till what year?
As long as we don't crash anything, it theoretically will be out there forever.
NASA's really good about, they always put time limits of, this is, like, they don't have a time limit of once we hit this, we're done. They have a time limit of, like, once we do this, we feel satisfied that we used our funding properly, and anything we get after this is a bonus, right?
Yes, yes.
Oh,
And again, unfortunately, marketing being what it is, maybe they thought that this would be something they hoped for earlier, but you don't dare mention it, because if you don't, everyone's going to call your mission a failure.
Yeah, well, that's why, like, the same thing with the Mars rovers. Like, our Mars rovers, they were built to last, I think 5 years, and like we had one that lasted like what 16, 17 years.
It's amazing.
Yeah, they should be built to last forever. But okay, but that's brilliant, man. So I like how you guys said that everything, like, I guess past the Kuiper Belt for the New Horizons probe is we're at the bonus level.
Yeah.
They're hyper to be in the Kuiper Belt. I was happy when I found out that they didn't just crash it into Pluto. Well, where was it that they sent the probe to, and they didn't do the conversion from the American system to the metric system properly, and that was an expensive loss.
Yeah, I'd like to know how far Russia's space probe has gotten. Since they're so great at saving us from everything. I mean,
it's funny you'd say that, because I just got a little blurb thing that popped in where Obama is saying that, according to RT, October 3rd, Obama claims Russian airstrikes are strengthening ISIS by taking out what Obama called the moderate folks. Well, what moderate folks? The only moderate folks we have are the ones that are too paranoid to fight after we trained them. So that came up as a blurb. I thought it should be mentioned.
Yeah, we'd be backtracking a little bit to talk about that. We talked about it in the beginning, but it looks like Kyle stepped out for a second, Sam. And what more did you have on that?
Oh, let me go back to it. I just shut it down.
Oh, my bad.
I thought it was, there it is. It's you can find it on Prison Planet, but it's RT. The U.S. president has slammed Russian airstrikes against Islamic State in Syria, going as far as to accuse Moscow of making ISIS stronger by decapitating the moderate folks prepared by Washington to stitch the country back together once Syria falls. In his first public comment since Russia launched anti-terrorist strikes in Syria, U.S. President Barack Obama was fiercely harsh, claiming that Moscow's military operation was counterproductive and is not distinguishing between Islamic State targets and so-called moderate opposition. Listen to this. The moderate opposition in Syria is one that if we ever are going to have a political transition, we need. And the Russian policy is driving these folks underground or creating a situation in which they are decapitated and are only strengthening ISIL. Well, I don't know if that's the case. I think a lot of what has strengthened them has been our tax dollars going to the wrong people. I do like this, though, even if it's just lip service, it is good to hear. Although Washington and Moscow fundamentally disagree on the steps required to resolve the chaos in Syria and broker a political solution, President Obama said that he will continue working with Vladimir Putin, because it is not in anyone's interest to make Syria into a proxy war between the U.S. and Russia. So, I mean, someone's been reading the papers, because that's exactly what they're being accused of, is that it's a proxy war here between the two nations. And it says here, the problem is Assad. The problem here isn't Assad and the brutality he's inflicted on the Syrian people, Obama stated, adding that the U.S. will continue to support modern opposition groups to ensure the eventual transition into democracy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he's insisting that the Syrian president has injured his own people. And it'll be interesting, even separate from the chemical attacks. It'll be interesting to find out how much truth there is to that.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know exactly who Assad considers his enemy, because I mean, I have a feeling Russia is doing just fine, and that they are bombing, all the people that they think are against them. And like I said, the analogy I started with when we were talking about this in the beginning, Russia and Syria, the U.S. and Iraq, and we're both just shooting bombs like a contest. And I wanted to relate that now in a question I'm posing to Kyle about the U.S. versus Russia space race. And do you think that Obama should maybe pump up more of our victories in the space race with NASA versus what the Russian Sputniks are doing?
Sure, yeah. I've said it before that, like, if there's one thing that could get me to vote for Newt Gingrich, it's like, fuck it, at least the dude wants to go back to the moon. Like, we should.
He wants to eat all the cheese on the moon. Newt Gingrich would eat the moon because he thinks it's made of cheese. Go ahead.
Fucking, I'll fucking cook it for him. Awesome.
That'd be Chris Christie.
Yeah, Chris Christie could eat the whole moon. Chris Christie is the man in the moon. But yeah, we should be. That's one place where like competition was good, and I hate to say it, but it's because like it was out of ignorance that happened. Like we got to the moon, and when we got there, we realized how fucking hard it is to get there, and that there's not really anything in 1969 we were capable of doing with it, and that Russia couldn't go. Competition's over. We no longer explore because we didn't feel there was a threat anymore. And now that satellites have been commonplace, like. Sputnik isn't a threat to us anymore. Like, I hate to say it, but if Russia was to do something, like if they were to say, like, yeah, like, and they did say recently, like, we're going to put a base on the moon. If they started doing that, you bet your ass we'd kick it into high gear and we'd get a base on the moon too.
Yeah, Japan or China and Japan want to get to the moon too. Japan wants to have a commercial on the moon. They want to be the first ones to do that with a sports energy drink or some crap like that. That's supposed to happen in a couple years. I don't know. But
China's only doing that because they're hoping to send Kim Jong-un from North Korea back.
I can't wait until I hope I live long enough to see like Firefly, Serenity, Star Trek style, where like spaceflight is kind of commonplace. And like, how much do you think? How much do you think the Mars rover will be worth? Because some asshole is gonna steal it. Like, how much do you think that can of the first energy drink to be on the moon? That'll be worth quite a bit of money. Like, you'll see that shit on eBay. People selling, like, somebody will find the Voyager and sell it on Amazon or on Craigslist.
Well, Kyle, that's like the second or third time we found a way to make money off the NASA space race. Earlier, you were talking about a full channel dedicated to a mission to Mars. I think that's a great idea. Was that in the movie The Martian, or did you come up with that on your own?
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, figure out a way to make money. In the book, I think they didn't do that, but they mentioned, like, when he's stuck on Mars. They didn't say it in the movie, but in the book they said, like, CNN had a 24-hour news cycle of what was going on with Watney on the moon. But no, yeah, make your own fucking news channel. Make it online. Make an online 24-hour newscast like RT and charge $5 to see it. Not only will you get Americans money going into the mission, you'll also get people from all over the world. You could probably fund it that way. You could probably fucking Kickstarter going to Mars.
Would you gentlemen Kickstarter a mission to Mars? That's brilliant. I would donate today. How do you guys feel about the fact that we haven't heard a question similar to that in the debates? And do you think in this debate cycle for the presidential election we will hear any questions from the moderators in regards to the space race and America's position in the space race? Kyle, you first, and then Sam.
No.
Sam.
No, I don't think we'll get anything from it at all. I think that the Republicans that would be in favor of it would be afraid to admit it because the tax hawks would fight them, so that they don't want to be asked at all.
Going to Mars or going to the moon doesn't justify spying on Americans. Why would they bring it up? It's not their prerogative, D-Lake.
Yeah. It's just not high up there on the list anymore, huh?
No, it's not up there with the things that get them to justify spying on Americans.
What about in a general election when it comes down to the Republican versus Democrat? Will we vote the person that's most in favor of a space race and a mission to Mars?
If it's like Hillary Clinton versus fuck it, let's say Donald Trump, and Donald Trump's like, I don't want to spend money going into space, and Hillary Clinton's like, I'm spending all the money on going to space, I'll vote for Hillary Clinton.
Oh man, I think it would be the other way around, but okay.
I do too. I wanted to go with.
I think Donald's gonna be like, I want to go into space. We're gonna win in space. We win everywhere, including space.
I'm renaming the moon the Trump moon.
It's gonna be the Trump moon. The great moon of Trump. We're gonna build a wall around it. It's gonna be huge.
Keep out those illegal Russians from the Trump moon.
I'm going to name it Trump
Russians
Moon. That's
moon.
quote of the show. I'm going to name it Trump Moon.
Trump moon. The whole rest of the show needs to be about the Trump moon. It's gonna be huge.
If Trump was to come out if somebody was to come out like Donald Trump or like Elon Musk or something and say, somebody like some billionaire and say, I want to invest all of my billions into putting a base on the moon, but my real reason for wanting to do it is I'm also going to laser inscribe my name big enough on the moon that you can see it everywhere in the world, I'd be like, deal. Put your name on the moon. Do that.
Luxury. Nothing but luxury on the moon. Okay?
You're gonna love your stay on the moon.
You're gonna
drink your Trump moon water.
You're gonna love it.
I'm turning the moon into a reality TV show, Trump Moon the Show.
Okay, great.
I'm down.
What a brilliant segue into entertainment. Sam, did you feel that you got all your science news out?
I'm scienced out, and I have entertainment. I do.
All right, give it to us.
BizPack review. NFL star player unloads on Black Lives Matter after cheap thug used the image. And it's just from Ian Brain wrote this. There's a meme someone wrote that said, when we gonna kill these KKK crackers, bro? Okay. Super Bowl winning NFL player Richard Sherman was dragged into the Black Lives Matter movement against his will when a picture showing him talking to another player went viral. Black Lives Matter leader King Noble used the Seattle Seahawks cornerback image in a meme that was captioned, and I get it, when we're going to kill these KKK crackers. Sherman, who was selected to be on the cover of the popular NFL video game Madden 15, was horrified by Noble's use of the image, and he took to social media. Listen to this. I do not believe this when I heard it. I watched your video. I started life in the ghetto. I banged like a fool till I woke up. I was not suppressed by any man or woman, white or black. I worked myself up from Compton High School to a scholarship to Stanford University, and I did it myself. I take pride in what I have accomplished, both as a black man and as an athlete. And he goes on and on.
Coming straight out of Compton.
This dude went from Compton to Stanford. Why isn't there a movie about him? Why isn't
NWA?
But basically, he absolutely condemns them, calls them out for scapegoating white people. Mm-hmm. And today he was recorded saying, we live in a time when according to this article, today meaning when this was published. Today we live in a time when the white man will be picked off and there's nothing we can do about it. His day is up, his time is up, and he will continue the executions and killing of white people. So basically, dated the 16th of September, basically Richard Sherman here, a football athlete with his eyes open and not buying into the BS. So that was very good to see.
Well, in NFL news, this just came out yesterday, NFL has no players arrested in calendar month for the first time since 2009, okay? This last month, Kyle, the month of September 2015, was the first time since 2009 in a full month that no NFL player was arrested. Kyle, how do you feel about that?
I don't doubt that for a second. Aside from this guy,
there's roughly 1,800 players in the NFL, and every month one of them manages to get arrested. Is it because of their tweets about the KKK?
It's because, like, let's be honest about it. Let's stop pretending that these people are, like, to be looked up to by children. Like, the majority of NFL players are gangbangers and thugs. Like, that's why I don't support the NFL.
Crazy NFL motherfucker player named
I know. We had my wife and I go to Indians games once in a while, and we went to the last one. The last weekend is this weekend. When you were in Cleveland, they end early. And it was freezing, and we had noticed that when a team has absolutely nothing to play for and it's just fun, it was a really good vibe, and it lost. I think baseball is going in a direction that is away from the whole thug culture thing. But baseball was so rooted in greed about 20 years ago that I don't know that the fans will ever truly embrace the sport like they once did. And I think the thug culture is going to do that to football if it doesn't stop.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not breaking any headlines right now by saying baseball and hockey don't have the same thug issue that NFL does.
and again, people say, "Oh, you're racist. You're racist." No, most of the baseball players that are really coming up now are Latino, but they're not out here acting like animals.
No.
So it's not a racial issue. In baseball,
you that animals thing you're throwing around there.
Bring a level of class to the game when they play, I would even say.
Kyle got that, but
I missed it. What'd you say?
I said be careful throwing around the term animals. Like some people don't like that.
Well, have you guys seen? That just reminds me. Have you watched the first? Like, there's 3 episodes out now of the new season of South Park.
Oh, well, I've seen clips online, and I've heard the synopsis of the first 2.
The first one is the best.
The first one, the clips that I saw with the principal were awesome, and being politically correct about transgender and Caitlyn Jenner, and then the next one. And the second one, did we talk about this last week, about Donald Trump being raped and killed on the show?
No. Wait, on what episode?
On South Park, the second episode, Donald Trump is raped and killed. He's fucked to death by Mr. Garrison.
Oh, yeah, I remember now. Okay.
What happens in the third one?
The third one was, what was I? Just watched it last night, and I'm having a brain fart on it.
Yeah, you said you were a little hungover.
Yeah, I don't even remember what it was, but I, like...
Nice memory there, pal.
I'm just so focused. The first episode was just so fucking good that it blotted out the other 2. They were both good, but the first one was just amazing, and the way they're going after like the PC movement, so fucking funny. And the best part, spoilers for anybody who hasn't watched it, like the whole thing is like Caitlyn Jenner is stunning and heroic or whatever, and if you say anything other than that, like the PC bros will like get in your face and shit. And like Kyle at one point says on the show, he's like, yeah, I don't think that she's a hero. In fact, I think that she's a pretty bad person. And at the end of the episode, Caitlyn Jenner drives away in a car and runs somebody over and kills him.
Yeah.
Like nobody wants to. Yeah, no, everybody like that like came and went so quickly that like Caitlyn Jenner killed somebody.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like there's going to be a prosecution. Doesn't look
if
like
I have to look at that guy in a dress one more time, I'm going to kill somebody.
All right, guys, don't say that.
Yeah, now you're going too far, Sam. Caitlyn Jenner is stunning and a hero.
She's stunning.
Well, no, I've said it before. It's like, I don't know. I find Caitlyn Jenner more and more, I have to admit, vastly entertaining because, like, whatever the PC people want her to say, she refuses to say. Like, first with, like, being a Republican, and it's like all these people who were so ready to root for her, it's like, oh, what? And then being against gay marriage, which, like, those same people, it's like they want her to be a hero, but then, like, something they believe in so strongly she's against. And then, just recently, she was asked...
Is Caitlyn a Republican?
Yeah. Caitlyn's a Republican who does not believe in gay marriage, and just recently was asked, like, how do you feel about, like, it's supposed one of the big Halloween costumes this year is going to be men dressing up as Caitlyn Jenner. Like, don't you think that's offensive? And Caitlyn Jenner was like, no, it sounds funny. Like, it's in good fun, whatever. So like, the people want her to be mad, but she's like, no, I get it.
Yeah, but the social justice warriors will just be mad for her. or him,
Yeah.
or however you want to say it. I mean,
Hey, I'll give
dude,
you her, Chelsea Manning. I'll give you her, whatever you want to be called. It
look,
doesn't.
yeah, if that's what you want, fine. I'll call you that. I have a friend who, like, since I've known her, she's changed her name like 3 times. I'll just call you whatever you want to be called. Okay, fine.
Whatever
Okay,
you want to call
I'll
you.
change your pronoun to he to she to whatever. I mean, you were like a Olympic gold medalist, a man's man, and now you want to be a woman. Look, you look great. Your hair looks great. You obviously had a stunning facial surgeon. Your tit surgeon was obviously very good. But you know what, pal? It takes a lot of courage to cut your cock off, and you still have yours, okay? You're not a chick with a dick. You're a dude with boobs. You got fucking titties, but you still have your dick. Look, I won't accept your courage award until you have the courage to cut off your dick. And if you cut off your dick, I won't call that courageous. I'll call it fucking stupid.
See, I've said this
because
before.
you're gonna have phantom penis. Look, it's been reported. Post sex change operation individuals that cut their penis off, their schmeckle or whatever you want to call it, when they cut that off, they had phantom penis. Just like an amputee, just like an arm amputee that thinks their arm is still there.
I avidly disagree with you on this point. I disagree with you so much, because here's the thing.
If he cuts his cock off, he will commit suicide within 1 year. I predict.
D-Lake, I would possibly, and that's why I agree. I don't. A lot of people say it like, oh, you got to get the surgery for me to call you the other one. Like, no, I don't believe that at all. Whatever you identify with.
I'll still call you she pre-surgery, but.
Whatever you identify with, because here's the thing. I don't even say pre-surgery, because there's a lot of transgender people out there who are never going to get the surgery. Because here's the thing, D-Lake. If you had been living as a man your entire life and you decided, like, I'm going to make the transition, I'm going to become a woman. Now, you have 2 choices. You can keep your dick, which still works, and you can orgasm, or you can chop your dick off, have a doctor make a fake, useless vagina that you will never come with. You are never going to orgasm with that surgically made vagina.
But scientists are seriously working on this. They're making lab-grown vaginas and, like, taking certain skin tissues and elements and making, like, fully real functional vaginas. I don't know. How much is that going to fucking cost? Look, I want Jenna Jameson's vagina. How much does that cost?
If we were at a point medically where you could go into the doctor's office, here's $1,000, they put you under, you wake up, you have a vagina, and it works perfectly, I would agree with you, but we're not at that point medically.
I don't think that somebody else's confusion has to change the entire speech of the entire society. I think I'm with D-Lake on this. If you're a confused individual, that's not our problem.
Well, no, it's not confused. It's like it's weird, but they're not confused. It's different.
Sam, the one thing you just did not say, which is totally to what you were saying, is that we as a society and through the government, I guess is how you would say it, we are not going to be paying for these operations. Society as a whole, as society, taxpayers at large, are not going to fund your sex change operation. And so then the only people that are going to be able to afford it are Olympic gold medalist winners that were on the fucking cover of Wheaties and Time magazine and some other shit.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't even agree with your statement of somebody being confused. Like, if somebody believes that they're born into the wrong body, that's not confusion. That's being.
That's madness. I'm sorry, that's madness.
Dude,
but look here, look. If
I thought I was a pelican, I'm crazy.
Look, it's madness for a fat lady to wear leopard print spandex, but whatever she wants to do, you know, like, it doesn't hurt me. Like, that's how I look at it. Whatever. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, I don't think it should be illegal. Yeah, no, I'm not saying that.
No, if you're changing it every other month and you're constantly changing, this week I'm he, this week I'm she, this week I'm it, this week I want to be referred to as a presence. Like, yeah, that's ridiculous, and I'm not going to back you up on that. But something as simple as, like, hey, my name was Bruce. I was a dude named Bruce. I'm a woman named Caitlin. Now it's like, all right, whatever. It's not like I'm ever going to have a beer with you anyways. Like, whatever. Have fun.
Guys, I don't have time. Okay, it's in my headphones. I don't have time to set this up for sound, but a video came out this week, and it's a transgender teen, and I don't know how old this kid is, is surprised with first dose of hormones after waiting 2.5 years. Today, after waiting 2.5 years, she finally got her estrogen. I picked it up while she was in school. She had no idea. We've been waiting months for the readiness letter to be finalized and sent to Chicago. Okay, this mom is giving her son, I guess, hormone treatment, but it looks like there's already boobs. It could be a padded bra, but I don't know how old you think this child is, but...
That kid does not look old. That kid looks like 14.
Okay, I can hear it. You can't. I'm going to let it play, and then I'm going to step away, but...
That kid's like 13.
Look behind you. Look behind you, okay? Mom, what'd you do? Get the look. Just look behind the pillow. Okay, that's obviously a girl, right? Or looks like a girl, right?
Yeah.
Dressed like a girl. Kind of, I see boobs. She's smiling. She's happy. She's got the girl hair. Now keep in mind, there's also children born sort of half and half, and there's other stuff like that that happens. That does happen. So
there are lines and there's psychological shit that happens. Like,
okay, it could be psychological, it could be physical. We don't know how far it is, but that is a box of estrogen hormone pills to make you more feminine, more female. And she's so happy inside. I didn't have to have the tape because they're both crying and they're so excited when the mom
the winner of the worst parent award is there.
Yeah,
now, see, at that age, I just don't know how the individual was born. Like I was saying to my point that, you know, some people are born sort of half and half or sort of in the middle or have...
I've said before, like, as much as I'm all for transgender rights, whatever you want to be called, like, go for it, good for you, I'm on your side. When you're talking about kids and giving them, like, hormone treatments, like, before or early after puberty, you can cause serious damage. And, like, at that age, you don't know if it's just a phase. And, like, it might not be, but if it is just a phase, when they stop taking those hormones, now they're going to have serious damage in the future. I do think that you should wait until they are an adult. And the 2.5 years thing, that's actually like a standard thing. Like, it's hard to get hormones. They don't just give them to you. They need to make sure that you're committed. It takes a long time. But yeah, giving a kid hormones, like, you could be potentially causing serious damage. I'm not in line with that.
That ranks right up there with the mother who put her baby in the microwave for a timeout.
I'm not going to say they're the worst parents in the world, but I don't think that's a good idea. I think that that's doing damage.
All right, Kyle, you said during the science that you saw The Martian with Matt Damon, and that sounds awesome. Now that we're in the entertainment section, can you tell us more about your thoughts on the movie itself as a movie, and how did you think the movie was, and could you give us a quick movie review with no spoilers?
It's hard. I mean, anything that I'll say about it, you've probably already seen in the trailer. Like, they go to Mars, they think he dies, turns out he's not dead, he has to live in a hab that was built for 30 days for, like, fucking 2 years. And the book was amazing. I read it maybe a month ago. And, I mean, obviously with a movie, it's like the audiobook was like 10 hours long, and the movie is only, like, 3, so they're going to have to cut things out and all that. But it was really, really good. Like you said, I hope it gets people thinking about Mars, and maybe it'll get it brought back on the table in political discussion. Because now,
as a movie, though, you're saying it was really good. Like, would you give it a thumbs
really
up, 5 stars, 4 stars, or what?
I'd give it 5 stars for sure. It was really, really good. And it was a long ass movie, but you know, some long ass movies like Lord of the Rings, you're like, all right, Jesus Christ, can I get up now? Is it over? Like, this wasn't like that. Like, you're in it the entire time.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah. And Sam, have you seen anything good recently, like as far as a movie or TV show or anything like that?
But basically, just I've watched a lot of movies in terms of documentaries. Have you ever heard of the weepy voiced killer?
No.
Whenever he called, he would call 911 in this really whiny, mamby-pamby voice, and he'd say, "I can't stop killing," and he'd do it every time he killed somebody. It was.
Are you sure you're not thinking of High Pitched Eric? Is that High Pitched Eric from Howard Stern?
The what?
That's from Howard Stern.
Yeah, there's a similar character who talks in a really high voice. Yeah.
The wimpy voice killer. I just looked it up and I'm checking it out. Sam, tell us more about this. He calls into 911 after his killings and says
and cries and says, "I have to do it. I can't stop." You've got to play his audio. That means he's got his 911 calls, He calls up and, oh, you guys, I'm so sorry. Oh, God, I killed her. Oh, God.
Why is there a random
time.
picture of Harley from Epic Mealtime thrown in there?
I don't know which picture that is. Epic Mealtime? Who's
Yeah,
that?
Harley, the guy with the beard.
But yeah, last Sunday,
This guy?
Yeah.
Because I guess he looks like the guy. Look, I mean, if we were casting the movie, oh, there's what's his name? Michael Rourke. What's this?
You got to go to the audio.
Michael Rourke, Henry. That movie's good, Henry. If you've ever seen that. Oh, American Psycho. I watched a good movie, Sam.
Oh, you gotta go to his voice. You gotta go to YouTube and put his voice on real quick.
Okay, that's gonna take me a second.
Wait, just click videos on Google where you were.
I know, but I gotta set up for sound. Give me a second, guys.
Okay, right. What'd you see while we're setting up?
Oh, I saw the movie Cop Car. Did you guys see that?
I haven't heard of it.
Kevin Bacon.
Cop Car?
Talk about something else for a second.
I'm looking up Cop. I want to know what that is. I have not heard of this movie at all. I watched all of Friends. I finished season 10 this week. Damn you, Netflix, for putting on shows I'm nostalgic from the past.
Friends. I didn't like Friends when it was out.
I watched it occasionally. It was one of those shows that was just like always on. And when it came out on Netflix, it's like, fuck yeah, I haven't seen Friends in forever. It's been off the air for so long. They're gonna be buying Fuller House. When does Fuller House come out? I mean, just for the nostalgic value of, like, just, like, the smallest shit. Even if you didn't like the show, like, little things like watching an episode of Friends from, like, 1994, and it's a big deal that he has a word processor on his big-ass old, like, Windows 3.1 laptop. Things like that entertain me. Like, the old technology and, like, the slow introduction of cell phones throughout the series, like, that's what I like. All right, you got some audio of the, what is it, the wimpy voice killer?
The weepy voice killer.
A pair of 10-year-olds find an abandoned cop car in a field. When they take it for a joyride, it seems like they could kill themselves at any moment. But things only get worse when the small-town sheriff goes looking for his missing car. The kids find themselves in the center of a deadly game of cat and mouse. This movie looks retarded.
The description is an okie doke. They throw you by making you think that it sounds like childish and kind of silly, but
Kevin Bacon's in it.
Yeah, but Kevin Bacon's in it, and it gets pretty raw and like violent, and like it actually turns out pretty good. There's a couple cringe moments, but okay, I'm set up to play with audio. Took me a minute, sorry guys. This is the wimpy voice killer's 911 calls. Here we go.
Don't talk, just listen.
Don't talk, just listen.
I'm sorry what I did to Compton. I couldn't help it. You know why I didn't stab him? I am so upset about it.
Turn it up just a little.
I can't believe I think it's a big dream. I can't think of being locked up. If I get locked up, I'll kill myself. I'd rather kill myself than get locked up. I'll try not to kill anybody else.
Oh, okay.
Emergency.
Please don't talk, just listen. I'm sorry I killed that girl. I stabbed her 40 times. Kimberly Compton was the first one over Facebook. Oh, I don't know what you're mad at me. I'm sick. I'm going to kill myself. I'm sick.
This isn't funny at all. This is kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Damn, you have a fucked sense of humor.
I'm gonna kill myself, Sam. I don't want to kill again. But it's funny that it's funny though that it's kind of like a script that he reads, isn't it, Sam?
Well, they said that he was sane. He tested sane to stand trial. He knew right from wrong. Obviously, I mean, the 911 call there, but they said that something with him, he at one point, he goes, I could have made her a friend. I like to make new friends, but I didn't. I just killed her. He had something was clearly not firing right in his head.
No, you know what it's kind of like? You ever go down like the porn rabbit hole where you start with one video, but then there's something in the suggested videos, and before
Yes.
you know it, you just came to something that you're just like, oh, what the fuck is wrong with me? Why did I do that? That's
Yeah.
this guy, but he kills people.
Every time we watch one of these videos, we have to call D like, we don't know why we watched this fucked up porn. There was a guy in a tree. Oh God.
I'm gonna do like, yeah. Every
Yeah.
time.
Oh,
every-
everything got knocked over and knocked down. All right, it's
wow.
pretty much time to almost end the show here. I'm D-Lake for Prez, reporting for themediaspeaks.com. We got to a lot of good stuff today, including random stuff at the end, including the weepy-voiced killer. We started, of course, with Russia going into Syria. We talked about the mass shootings that happened in Oregon. Guys, I felt like it was a good show. Is there anything else that was on your mind that maybe you didn't get out today? You want to get out at the end?
No,
Me and Sam are gonna call you from now on with our masturbation shame and leave voicemails.
in great detail. You're gonna hear about the midget in the clown suit. Oh my God! But I also want to give a shout out to Popperlead and stuff, who were wonderful to us at the Agora. I want to thank everybody, including Link, that helped it go better than we had ever dreamed. It was absolutely amazing, and they hung out with us, invited us back, and they're really good people. So anybody that's followed my hype about that for the last month, it was great. And the video is up at youtube.com/SamForPassingTime. And you can find me, The Correct Views, hotmail.com. You can find me on Tumblr. I'm the only one on Tumblr. It's just me. I'm the only one tumbling. Vocalize, you ever hear of that? Nobody else has. I'm on it too. And Planet.Infowars. One or two people have heard of that.
Sam, are you starting all these websites yourself?
It seems that way.
Sambook. It's like Facebook, but Sam's on there. It's pretty much just a blog. I
Sam.
want to give a shout out to my fiance Megan. Her stand-up comedy special comes out on Netflix next month. Please give it a 5-star rating.
Sweet.
And you can find me on the internet, The Media Speaks. Just type that in somewhere, you'll find me.
Pour juice on your chin.